Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, the Honorable Chief Justice Martha Koome, the Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Prime Cabinet Secretary, Cabinet Secretaries, Principal Secretaries present, the Honorable CRJ, distinguished ambassadors, members of the diplomatic corps, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am honored by the confidence of the government of Kenya that has placed in me by nominating and supporting my candidature for the election of Judge of the International Criminal Court for the year 2027 to 2036. I accept this endorsement with humility and gratitude. Proud to do so as a Kenyan who has dedicated her professional life to the service of justice and the rule of law and the protection of human dignity. I am deeply grateful to His Excellency President William Ruto for his decisive leadership in advancing my candidature and personally introducing me to more presidents than I am sure I will ever meet, more heads of state, in order to secure support ahead of the ICC election in December. I equally acknowledge the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, whose unwavering support, together with the diligence of his Permanent Secretary, Dr. Korir Sing'oei, they have both been instrumental in this journey. I owe a special debt of gratitude to the Chief Justice, Martha Koome, whose confidence in my ability to serve, her mentorship and her encouragement for me to seek higher office has always been invaluable. The same gratitude I wish to extend to my elder sister, Ambassador Ida Odinga, and to Justice Joyce Aloch for ever encouraging me in my career development and personal life. As you are aware, the International Criminal Court was established to adjudicate the gravest of crimes under international criminal law and possibly act as a deterrent against these crimes. Yet, the geopolitical challenges of today continue to test its mandate. The world is still witnessing systematic violations of human rights, crimes against humanity, and conflicts that destabilize societies. Faced with these realities, the International Criminal Court requires judges that fiercely defend judicial independence to ensure that the court is not used as a political theater, but remains firmly anchored in the Rome Statute. Ladies and gentlemen, my candidacy is anchored in five values, which I believe define the character of a judge of the International Criminal Court, and which is critical at this moment in time. These are courage, pragmatism, efficiency, victim-centered justice, and for a judge from Africa, the ability to bring Africa-focused jurisprudence. Courage as a judicial value is indispensable, and judges of the ICC currently have faced direct threats, political pressure, and even sanctions. Therefore, courage is the quality that enables the judges to uphold the law, to resist external pressure, and to defend the court's integrity against attempts to transform the court into an instrument of politics. I believe my own career demonstrates this quality in courage. In the Supreme Court, I have issued detailed dissenting opinions in high-profile constitutional and electoral cases, standing firm on principle. These dissents have been widely discussed in legal scholarship and public discourse for their emphasis on constitutional interpretation and the protection of human rights. Beyond the bench, my past work as a legislator required a courage of a different kind, finding ways to deal with conflict, negotiating across divides, and crafting laws and policies that provide for gender justice, including the Sexual Offences Act, the maternity and paternity benefits, and in the African Union, working on the Maputo Protocol on Women's Rights. The second value, which is most important to a judge of the ICC, is pragmatism, which means balancing ideals with realities, ensuring that justice is principled, workable, and trusted by those it serves. By crafting solutions that respond to specific needs of member states, ensuring accountability, and strengthening domestic institutions so that justice is not perpetually outsourced to the ICC. My career has been shaped by institutions where the law meets life, in civil society, at the African Union, the United Nations, in the National Parliament, at the Pan-African Parliament, at the Committee of Experts that drafted the Constitution of Kenya, and in the judiciary, where I have learned the importance of being pragmatic. My vision, therefore, for the ICC is about grounding ideals in lived realities, ensuring that the ICC serves not only as a court of last resort, but also as a partner in building resilient national systems of justice, a court that applies legal principles equally across all the regions of the world. Efficiency, ladies and gentlemen, is the third characteristic vital for a judge of the ICC, and it means more than case management. It means integrating modern systems, streamlining investigations, accelerating hearings, and to reduce the time victims have to wait for justice. As a former criminal prosecutor, working under the Director of Public Prosecutions in the AG's office, and as a judge of a collegial court, I have worked to ensure consistency in the application of rules, to run a court effectively, and to manage hearings in a way that prevents delays. This experience has taught me that efficiency is about structure, discipline, and foresight, and it is this experience that I will also bring to the ICC. Victims are at the core of international criminal justice, and true justice must go beyond punishing perpetrators to restoring dignity. A victim-centered approach requires institutions that are safe, inclusive, and responsive, places where survivors can participate meaningfully, having their voices heard and see their rights protected. Equality of the law must be matched by equality in access to justice, ensuring that the victims are not sidelined by procedure or delay. My professional journey has always been victim-centered. At the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, I work directly with refugees and asylum seekers and displaced communities whose lives had been shattered by conflict. And at the African Union, I witnessed the devastating consequences of violence on fragile societies. My work on sexual and gender-based violence began then, while doing protection work for refugees, and I've continued this work through the legislation, such as the Sexual Offences Act, through case law, and through institution building in all the places that I have worked. For the International Criminal Court, the urgency of victim-centered justice is clear. Communities devastated by conflict often wait years for reparations, and prolonged trials erode faith in international justice. A credible ICC, therefore, must prioritize timely redress, strengthen the trust fund for victims, and ensure equitable support where the need is greatest. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, a judge from Africa must bring an African perspective. Africa has often carried the weight of ICC scrutiny, sometimes accompanied by perception of bias. The ICC must confront bias directly, not deny it, and craft solutions that reflect Africa's context rather than to impose external models of justice on Africa. It is important for the ICC to rebuild its relationship with Africa. The jurisprudence of the ICC also to date reflects little or no reference to African case law, African scholarly work, or even to African jurists. It is important that Africa's legal experiences be embedded in the case law and jurisprudence of the International Criminal Court. And this I will do. The elections for Judge of ICC, for which I seek your support, is scheduled for December 2026, where state parties will elect 6 judges from all over the world. If I am elected, then Kenya will bring to the court a deep respect for judicial independence, a firm belief in procedural fairness, and a pragmatic understanding of how justice must function in practice. Excellences, ce serait pour moi un immense honneur de contribuer à la promotion de la paix, de la justice, de l'état de droit, enseignant comme juge à la Cour pénale internationale. Je vous remercie sincèrement pour votre confiance et votre considération. I thank you all. Asanteni sana.